Imagine this, the bass is thumping like a heartbeat. Light cuts the room into shards of neon confetti, and suddenly every head swivels as a familiar silhouette slides through the crowd. The jawline, the buzz cut, the tattoos everybody recognizes without thinking. People scramble over bar stools, phones already in hand. The DJ leans into the mic, grinning, because how could this be real? But it looks real. It feels real. For a few electric minutes, the club convinces itself that a global superstar has just walked in to bless their night. Freeze that frame, because what happens in the next 5 minutes is the thin line between a harmless stunt and a scandal that hijacks headlines. Stick with me. In the next 90 seconds, I'll show you exactly how one flawless impersonation turned into free bottles, VIP access, and a lifetime ban. Then I'll walk you through the 4 red flags everyone ignored, the legal gray zones no one's talking about, and why this story says more about us than the imposter. But first, let's rewind to the moment the illusion locked in place. The man at the center of it all didn't just throw on a hoodie and hope for the best. He studied. Same haircut, same posture, that swagger you only earn after a million flashbulbs. Even the tattoos, not just random ink, but a patchwork that mirrored the iconography fans have memorized from magazine covers and award shows. That level of detail is what turns a casual glance into a stampede. Under the club's black lights, reality blurs, judgment softens, and status spreads like a fever. If one staffer believes, then 2 believe, then 5, then the guy guarding the velvet rope believes. Suddenly, the illusion has a security escort. In just 60 seconds, I'll break down how social proof made this snowball unstoppable. But pause for a moment. Picture it, a manager whispers to a promoter. The promoter whispers to the DJ. And before anyone checks an ID, the room is rewriting reality in real time. That's when the perks start pouring in. A private booth, stage access, a nod, a wristband, a green light. Drinks, not just drinks, champagne towers. Premium bottles stacking up. A bar tab swelling into 5 figures. Because the night just became a legend people will retell until their voices crack. And here's the rolling hook. If you've ever wondered how a stranger could slip into a high-profile venue and unlock perks reserved for A-list artists, pay attention. The next 30 seconds explain it all. It comes down to a 3-part lock, and this impersonator had all 3 keys. Key 1, visual congruence, the hair, the tattoos, the silhouette. Every detail synced with the image burnt into fans' memory. Key 2, contextual framing, arriving with a supposed entourage, moving like access is expected, not requested. Key 3, atmosphere, the music, the lights, the crowd's hunger for a moment. All engineered to amplify emotion and mute skepticism. In that mix, the impossible becomes unquestionable. When the DJ buys in, the room buys in. When the room buys in, the staff stop asking why and start asking, what do you need? But illusions never last forever. Behind the glamour of nightlife lies a quiet bureaucracy. Every wristband is logged. Every radio call recorded. Every bar tab leaves a trail. Somewhere, an accomplice slips up. Somewhere, the name at the center doesn't match the system. That's when alarms start humming beneath the music. The unraveling isn't cinematic, it's procedural. A text from someone who knows someone who would have known. A call to confirm a flight schedule. A manager's brow furrowing into suspicion. The same energy that opened every door in 10 minutes reverses just as fast. Hey, can we talk to you? Just a second, sir. Security would like a word. And in a blink, the velvet rope transforms from welcome mat to wall. Now for the part you've been waiting for, the aftermath. The venue confirms he isn't who everyone thought. The hospitality cuts off. A $10,000 tab, champagne towers and top-shelf liquor, shifts from status symbol to unpaid debt. The decision comes quick: escort him out, revoke access, and blacklist the name that was never his. That's the hard stop. But it isn't the end. Because in 2025, being escorted out of a club is just Act 2. Act 3 unfolds online. Clips surface. Reaction videos multiply. Screenshots freeze the moment the illusion cracked. And a stunt meant for one night becomes content that lives forever. And then the internet takes over. Comment sections light up with armchair forensics. People zooming in, screenshotting, and comparing tattoos like amateur detectives. Some are outraged at the deception. Others are mesmerized by just how close he came and how far he pushed the illusion. Here's the fresh hook. In 1 minute, I'll show you why getting caught might actually be the very thing that turns a fake superstar into a real career. But first, Let's break down the 4 red flags most venues overlook when a celebrity arrives without a spotlight announcement. Red flag 1, the entourage test. True A-listers don't over-announce themselves. Watch for the overeager handler with no lanyard, no badge, but endless confidence. They talk in absolutes. He needs the stage now, yet never flash credentials. Red flag 2, the fatigue tell. Real stars carry microtension when they move through crowds, years of dodging cameras and hands baked into muscle memory. Impersonators mimic swagger but miss that subtle, defensive edge. Red flag 3, the verification denial. If someone is who they say they are, a discreet off-floor ID check shouldn't be a problem. Pushback, excuses, urgent timing. That's a red flag dressed as authority. Red flag 4, the phone triangle. Every authentic VIP arrival has 3 invisible players: a publicist, a head of personal security, and a venue liaison. If those 3 aren't triangulating by text within seconds, something's wrong. Alone, none of these signals prove anything. Together, they paint a picture too sharp to ignore. Now, let's step into the legal gray zone. Impersonation itself isn't always illegal. Entire careers exist around tribute acts and lookalikes. The line is crossed when deception extracts benefits, access, goods, or services under false pretenses. The technical phrase, obtaining financial advantage by deception. Different regions label it differently, but the core stays the same. If the venue comped bottles, access, or perks because they believed a false identity, they can claim harm. Will charges ever be filed? That depends on evidence, on appetite, on optics, and on whether that $10,000 can be quietly recouped without stepping into a courtroom. And here's a rolling hook worth sticking around for. Even if no legal case is filed, there's an unexpected risk that could haunt the impersonator long after the headlines fade: the platform risk. I'll break that down in a moment, but first, let's talk about the DJ. The DJ's confession matters. You can almost hear the mix falter when realization hits. His line, "I thought he'd just put on a lot of weight since the album," isn't just a throwaway joke. It's proof. Proof of how stage lighting, adrenaline, and expectation distort our perception. This isn't the first time a crowd has misidentified a face under strobe lights. And it won't be the last. But that very human mistake is important. It reminds us that recognizing celebrity isn't biometric security. It's a vibe, a collage of cues we assemble in a split second. When enough of those cues line up, we outsource judgment to the moment. The real lesson isn't how could they be so dumb. It's how easily can context rewrite what we think we see. Now, back to that platform risk. In today's economy, where social clout can be minted overnight, scandal doesn't always end a career. Sometimes it starts one. Bookings roll in, not from the high-profile venues that just made headlines, but from the secondary circuit hungry for novelty. Pop-up events, smaller clubs, private parties that want to flirt with danger without the liability. The impersonator's inbox fills. Opportunity knocks. But here's the catch: platforms don't love gray zones. Payment processors, ticketing sites, even social networks have clauses against deceptive practices. Build a brand on misrepresentation, and the foundation crumbles. Accounts get flagged. Verification becomes impossible. Monetization tools vanish. You may get the spotlight, but the spotlight burns as much as it shines. This is the paradox of scandal fame. It opens doors that lead to rooms with no exits. And here's where we flip the camera back from the impersonator to us. We are the engine. We click. We comment. We push the clip into virality because it makes our group chats buzz. We don't just watch the story, we co-write it in real time. And if we're honest, part of the thrill of modern celebrity is its permeability. The seductive possibility that a star might brush past us in the wild, that, maybe, just maybe, we're always one night away from a story we'll retell for years. That thrill is intoxicating. But that thrill also creates vulnerability. When the fantasy walks in, we want it to be real. And that want is powerful. The problem is, wanting makes us generous with the benefit of the doubt and careless guardians of the truth. So here's something practical. Stick with me for the next 60 seconds, and I'll give you a 3-question filter you can use the next time your night starts feeling like a movie. Question 1. Who benefits if I believe this? If the answer is the moment, be careful. Moments don't pay tabs. People do. Question 2. Where's the friction? Authentic access always has some resistance, a name check, a wristband that takes a beat to appear, a path cleared by staff who clearly know each other. If everything suddenly feels too easy, that's a story, just maybe not the one you think. Question 3. What would disprove this in 30 seconds? If the test is simple, an ID check, a text to a rep, a glance backstage, and nobody in charge wants to try it, you already have your answer without the confrontation. You don't need a batch to protect the truth in the room. You just need to protect your attention. Now let's cut back to the venue's perspective. This wasn't just a door slip. It was a systems failure. Crisis Management 101 says, own the narrative, and own it fast. That means a statement with 3 beats. What happened? A coordinated ruse slipped through. Comp services were extended under false assumptions. What we've done? The individual was escorted out, access revoked, and the case referred for review. What we're changing? ID verification protocols tightened. Stage access rules updated. Visual confirmation no longer substitutes for credential confirmation. None of this is flashy. It won't trend. But these are the guardrails that stop your venue from becoming the next viral cautionary tale. And here's a fresh rolling hook. In 1 minute, I'll show you the dead simple 4-step flow any venue can use to bulletproof their VIP arrivals. Before I give you the blueprint, let's take a quick detour into the ethics. There's a huge difference between tribute and trickery. Tribute says, I look like your fave, let's have fun with it. Trickery says, I am your fave, give me what they get. One celebrates the myth, the other counterfeits it. We can enjoy the first. We should interrogate the second. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The impersonator in this story didn't invent the vulnerability. He exploited a culture that values proximity to fame more than proof of it. If a stage selfie is worth more than an invoice, the invoice will always lose. We joke about they let him in because he looked rich. But the reality is simpler. Venues are staffed by people. And people are wired to read status cues quickly, for safety, for efficiency. That wiring is hackable. The fix isn't cruelty. It's method. All right, here's the blueprint. Step 1, pre-clearance. If a headliner or surprise guest is expected, 2 names are logged in a secure staff-only thread hours earlier, the real artist and a code alias. If someone shows up outside that list, they don't see the stage. Step 2, silent verify. A designated verifier, not the doorman, not the DJ, meets arrivals backstage for a 30-second check. ID, tour rep, quick ping, cross-reference. Step 3, temporary escort. Until verification clears, access is limited and time-boxed. A waiting lounge, not a high-visibility booth. Step 4, log